Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Marcus here again. I got a question. Many of you do a lot of reading, and some of you are familiar with a book that reference The Secret. And it's supposed to tell you about all of those essentials that perhaps have been kept from you about how to be successful and how these things are connected together about the happiness and fulfillment of people who get a chance to emphasize and experience the basic principles of The Secret. It has also been said about the body just being a vehicle whereby you got all the cells and all of the things that's in the body, but what basically controls it is the mind, which is operational based upon the brain, which feeds out of energy outside of all of that other stuff. The brain is like a major source that is able to separate these vibrations and these flows and these fields and bring to it, yet fed off of what the body actually seeks. That you can program yourself to reach out and be successful by having positive thoughts. And the desire for positive thoughts will resonate in your mind, that will send out signals to your brain, and your brain will be able to extract from all of those electric fields and things that's out there that has to do with the concept of life, and bring those things to you. I even hear people say you can sit up and think negative things about people that you haven't seen in years, and they can be somewhere thinking about negative things about you, or the vice versa. You can think wonderful things about people you haven't seen, and before you know it, they'll be calling you or sending you a letter, or something will cross your path that will connect you. Now, I know you've heard these stories about success, and you find people saying that when you're healed, a lot of times it has nothing to do with the medication that you've been given, but how that medication perhaps have affected your thought process that make you feel and believe that you will be healed based upon the medication, when actually it's your thoughts that is causing the transactional changes within your body that brings about the healing. I don't know about that. I'm not going to argue with that. But what my concept of it is, I would refer to a different program. It appears to me that you can have the most negative thoughts. You can have the most diabolical emphasis on life that prevents life. And in a state like that, I see that almost as being a computer that's filled with viruses that produces... Shut up, Duchess, shut up, Duchess. Excuse me. Look at this boy, got some brand new shoes. Hey. Look here, I must have been thinking about some good stuff. Somebody just bought me a pair of brand new shoes. You my baby boy? Yeah, that's my baby boy. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know if they fit.
They fit. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, about that computer I was talking about. I also am convinced that there's something else that's going on that maybe most people cannot be tapped into. I was saying that you could take the most negative people who lived in the worst situations of life you could ever imagine. Poor, poverty, crime and violence, whatever. And you can take them away from that situation and introduce them to another situation. I'm calling this as a different kind of programming. And it would eliminate all of the consequences of their previous life. For instance, take them knowing that there's something special. I don't know if it has anything to do with the vibrations outside or in the brain or in the mind or in the heart or in the body. But exercise it in such a way, believing that each person has something within themselves that wants to be involved, that wants to be exercised, and use it. Allow that person to engage themselves in the exercise of whatever that is that they desire to do. Basically, I'm referring to it as a career objective, a goal, a work, something that they could indulge themselves in and be happy and satisfied with. Now, that might have something to do with the chemicals in the body, the cells and all of that, and your mind and your brains and all of the energy and fields that's outside of your body. I don't know. I'm not arguing that. I'm not trying to take away from that. I'm just saying if you allow these people, all of them who've been as negative and living in ghettos and vagabonds, and allow them to exercise themselves in a career of their own choosing. Most of the careers that they would choose are careers that have already been established as essential, has already gotten their attention. And by so doing, that they would in effect create from their indulgence a measure of all of the resources that are essential for survival. Whether it has to do with health care, because for some strange reason they need it. And they might just come up and think that you can think health and you got it. I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm just saying that whatever is required to make sure that health care is there, available, it will be made manifest. Same thing about education. May not be the book schooling. That might not be necessary again. It might be extracting some energy from outside that comes through the brain, through the mind, through the body, and facilitate the purpose of knowledge. It'll be there. Same thing when it comes to food and clothing and housing. And out of this, you would have a result that eliminates crime and violence and poverty and hatred and bigotry and racism. Those things they will be eliminated. They might not be appreciated. I'm not going to say they're going to be appreciated, but I'm saying that if you exercise this particular program, this is the result that it would produce. Now, peace and prosperity and joy and happiness and fulfillment of dreams might mean hell to people. They might not want anything to do with it, but it will produce it. And if you don't want it, then you can go back to vagabonds and trash and on the street corners and ghettos. But I just wanted to throw that out there because there's constantly saying people coming here with new knowledge, and you got people sitting on couches thinking, well, let me see if I can think myself to healing. Let me see if I can get rid of this cancer just by thinking it. So let me think of all the positive things I can think of. Let me think of going outside my body through my mind and through my brain and cause these instruments to extract from the energy forces and energy fields whatever is required of me to eradicate this I don't want to have any longer. That might be possible. In fact, I have tried that. You know, it's like trying to sit on the couch and meditate and trying to change from being old. And every time you look in the mirror, you might be thinking young, but you be looking old. So I don't know about all that other kind of stuff. I just wanted to say something to you, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know if I've described it to you intelligent enough or clear enough for you to even get where I'm coming from. But I wanted to share it because I was led to do it. and I'm going to post it. I heard somebody say, if you want to be successful in what you're trying to do, focus. And when they say focus, they were referring to possibly throwing away your commitment to YouTube and to Facebook and to Instagram and to Twitter and all of those things that kind of distract from the time that you have available to do your focus and make steps towards achieving that which you're focusing on. Now that makes sense. But for me, I'm thinking, if I didn't have YouTube, how could I reach you? And I'm still not reaching you. But I am thinking that maybe I should do a little bit more focusing, because you and your happiness is very important to me. And I have done so much YouTube, so much Facebook, to maybe it has been a distraction. Maybe I need to just put that stuff down and start having personal interaction with you. That's a nice thought. Well, let's see where that goes. Once again, I want to thank you. Eddie Marcus say bye-bye.